Well, good afternoon and welcome to TruthQuest Today. Here we are, it's Wednesday, and we have been talking about answering your questions. And to help us with that, please welcome my good friend Becky Doodledorf. Hi, Becky. How you doing today?
Hi.
Oh, Becky, you're not your chipper self today. What's going on?
Well,
No.
I was talking to my friends.
Oh, your friends. Okay, yeah.
Officer Reed and Officer Malloy.
Oh, yeah.
They're not being treated very nicely. A lot of people are being mean to police, and I don't understand. I mean, Officer Reed and Officer Malloy are really nice people. Why are people being so mean to them?
You know, that is a good question, Becky. And one of our young ladies had that question, and her name is Leanna Miller. She's asked us a few questions. So I just want to first of all invite you, those of you who are watching, to ask your questions from the Bible, and also to say hello to us today. If you're watching today and you would like to say hello, why text it in and say hello, or say hello on Facebook, and Becky and I will do our best to say hello back. I know Amy, hi, Miss Amy's watching.
Hi, Miss Amy.
You know, Becky, Miss Amy has the whole office decorated for Christmas in July. I know, right?
Does she have a present for me?
Ooh, that's a good question. Miss Amy, do you have any presents for us?
No, for me.
Oh, I was talking about for both of us.
Oh.
I mean, do you have a present for Becky?
Is there a present under the tree, Miss Amy?
She has decorated the trees and everything. So I'm glad you're watching, Miss Amy. That's right. But anybody else that's watching, please feel free to text in or say hello on Facebook. But yes, we have been taking questions from kids, and we have a few guidelines for the questions, because if you're watching and you have a question from the Bible, you can email it in to us. So here's a few guidelines. Timothy Montgomery, how you doing, buddy?
Hi, Mr. Tim.
All right. Good to hear from you, buddy. That's right. That's Pastor Mark's brother watching with us today, or at least passing by on Facebook. Good to see you. And Leanna is watching.
Hi, Miss Leanna.
Hi, Leanna.
How are you?
She can tell us how she is in a minute. How are you, Leanna? So yeah, if you have a question from the Bible, first of all, yes, it needs to be about the Bible. So don't send me a calculus question or a chemistry question or an engineering question, because I'll look at you like, because I don't know the answer, okay? But I can look in the Bible and find these answers. So it needs to be that. And if you have a Bible question, email it to ask@lifefellowship.org, and we will do our best to answer it. Please include your name and age. And again, maybe we'll be able to answer it on our little program, and maybe not, but we'd love to have your questions. And Becky, as we were saying earlier, Miss Leanna Miller has sent a few questions our way. And the one that we're going to talk about today is the one that you're asking, which is, what does the Bible say about police? That's right. Police are really in the news right now, aren't they, Becky?
Yeah, it just doesn't, I understand there's not always nice guys, but it seems like most of the police are pretty nice.
You know, people are people, no matter what they do or where they come from or what they look like. People are all people. There are those who obey more, and there are those who don't obey more. And so you have, shall we say, good and bad ones in all of them. And that's true of our police as well. And it's true of any group of people and people in general. People sin, don't they, Becky?
Yeah.
That's right.
So is the word police in the Bible?
The word police is not in the Bible so much as the idea of the police. So I will tell you all about that, okay?
Okay.
First of all, let's go to the Bible. First of all, before we even do that, let's say hi to Andrea, because our friend Andrea is...
There's a spider.
No, we talked about the spider, Becky.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
But say hello to Andrea.
Oh, hi, Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you, Andrea. You're going to have to help Becky to focus, because she gets distracted, doesn't she? That's right.
Look over there.
Over here, Becky. Hi.
What?
Hi. Remember what we're talking about? She doesn't remember. Kids, do you remember? Turn around and see what we're talking about. There.
Oh!
That's right. We're talking about
that Officer Reed and Malloy.
Officer Reed and Malloy. Yeah, those guys are great, aren't they?
They're really nice.
That's right. Okay. Well, let's see what the Bible has to say about maybe not so much police, but about people who are in Authority. Oh, do you know what authority means?
Uh,
Doesn't look
oh,
like
look,
it.
there's a spider.
There she goes again. Becky. Hi. Hi, Becky. Authority just means somebody who has a charge over you, someone who is sort of the boss of you.
Oh, okay,
Okay?
I get it.
That's right. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So here's what the Bible says about that. Romans 13, starting at verse 1, it says, let everyone be subject to the governing authorities. That's a fancy way of just saying, obey the people that are in charge of you.
Oh,
Okay? Because it says there is no authority except for that which God has established. In other words, the authorities that are here on earth have been put there by God. Does that make sense?
Oh,
That's right.
yeah.
So presidents, kings, queens, senators, and teachers, and even, yes, police are authorities that were put there by God. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay, and what does it say? Should we disobey them or should we be subject to them?
What is be subject?
It says to obey them.
Oh, yeah, we should obey them.
So we should obey them. All right, let's move on to verse 2. It says, consequently, that is, as a result of this, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, fighting against what God has put in place. So if you disobey the president, or you disobey your boss, or your teacher, or you disobey, yes, even the police, you're disobeying what God has put in place. Does that make sense? Okay. And those who do that will bring judgment on themselves, it says here. That's not a good thing, right?
Oh.
Okay. And then moving on to verse 3, it says, rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Now, do you want to be free from the one who's in authority? What's your answer to that? Do you want to be free from the one who's in authority?
Well,
Free from fear from the one
free
who's in
from
authority.
fear. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I
if you
don't
don't,
want to be afraid of the people who are in charge of me.
I don't either. That's right. And if you don't want to be afraid of the people who are in charge, then it says, do what is right, and you will be commended. You will be congratulated. That's a big word too, isn't it?
How about awarded?
Awarded. They'll say, good job.
Good
Okay?
job.
That's right. So it says in verse 4, the one in authority is God's servant for your good. That means that even though it doesn't always feel like it, our presidents, our mayors, our governors, our senators, our teachers, our bosses, and yes, even our police are God's servants for our good.
Oh.
Makes sense? But if you do wrong, be afraid, because rulers don't bear the sword for no reason. In other words, God's given them this power for a good reason. Does that make sense?
Yep.
They are God's servants. They are agents of wrath to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. In other words, if we disobey, then all those people that God has put in authority over us have the ability to punish or whatever they need to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and so finally it says in verse 5, therefore it is necessary to submit to obey the authorities, not only because of possible punishment, but also as a matter of conscience, also so that you know that you're doing right.
So if I don't want to get in trouble, I should do what my bosses say.
That's right, that's right. So it's important that we submit to and obey the governing authorities, okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense? Now listen, I know, like we said before, not every president, not every king, not every mayor, not every governor, not every senator do right all the time, do they? Becky? Hi. Do all the authorities do right all the time?
Yeah.
Do you do right all the time? Yeah.
Oh, look, there's a spider.
No. Do I do right all the time?
Nope.
Well, you didn't even hesitate.
Well, okay, yeah, I do things wrong sometimes.
Okay. But I mean, you didn't hesitate when I asked if I do right all the time. You were just right there with, you're right. I don't do right all the time. And neither do any of you. And neither do your moms and dads. There is no human being on this earth who does right all the time. Do we all understand that?
I think so.
And so that means that we're going to have people who don't do right. It means that we're even going to have presidents, kings, governors, mayors, senators, teachers, bosses, and yes, even police who do wrong sometimes, aren't we?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, and that's not good, but God still says that we have to obey them.
Oh,
Okay?
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just like we do wrong sometimes, we have to obey the people that God has put in charge of us, even though they do wrong sometimes. It's not our problem if they do wrong. It's God will deal with that. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay, but that's a hard thing. I don't like that. A
No,
lot of
I don't
people
like
don't
that
like
either.
that. Yeah, I mean, some people do get pulled over by police when they shouldn't because there are sometimes police who do wrong. Some people, some governors or mayors or presidents make laws that maybe God wouldn't like, but God put them there to do that. And he has a reason for when those things happen. Becky, do you realize that God has used kings and all kinds of people in power, even though he knew they were going to do wrong things, he used them to do what he wanted to have done.
Like Pharaoh in the Bible.
Like Pharaoh in the Bible. Remember the king of Egypt, Pharaoh, king of Egypt,
Pharaoh. Oh, baby.
Oh, wow,
let my
now we have a
people
musical
go.
number.
Whoa, yeah.
That's right. So that's right. Just because someone does wrong sometimes doesn't mean God doesn't use them. I know if God ever uses me, it's not because I do right all the time. That's for sure.
Oh,
So, okay, do you understand how that works? We don't
think
obey
so.
police because they're always right. We don't obey governors or mayors or bosses or teachers because they're always right. We obey them because God says to obey them.
yep.
Okay?
Okay.
And if someone like that tells us to do something that makes us disobey God, then we obey God instead. Does that make
okay.
sense?
I think I understand.
I'm
So
kinda getting into the
I
weeds.
obey God first, and then I should obey those who he puts in power over me.
That's right.
Even if I don't always agree with what they're saying, I
E-
still have to obey.
That's right, because if God wanted you in charge, he would have put you in charge.
Oh,
But if you're not in charge, it's because God doesn't want you to be in charge.
can I be in charge?
No. No. No.
Oh.
No. God puts in charge.
There's a spider.
Oh, there's the spider again. Okay. Shall
I
we do
want to be in charge.
Let's do one more Bible verse.
Oh, okay.
It's Hebrews 13:7. It says, "Have confidence in your leaders and submit, obey their authority, because they keep watch over you as those who must give an account." Kids, everyone that God has put in authority is going to have to give an account to God. They're going to have to answer God for what they've done. So if they do wrong, God will take care of that, okay?
Okay.
That's not our problem. But it says, do all of this so that their job, their work will be a joy, not a burden, because that won't help you. That will be of no benefit to you. So
So if I'm being mouthy and not being respectful, that doesn't help them and it doesn't help me?
it doesn't help anybody. That's right. Even if a teacher or a boss or a politician, a governor, a mayor, a president, or even a police officer does something that you don't think is right, still be respectful, obey, don't fight, don't mouth off. And if you think what they've done is wrong, you can follow up later in a respectful way, but obey. Obey.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not saying that all police are perfect. I'm not saying all teachers are perfect or all bosses are perfect or all people that are kings or presidents or anything is perfect, because nobody on this earth is perfect. But all of that being true, God says, obey them.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense? And you know what? Your police are going through a lot right now
Yeah,
because,
they are.
sadly, because there have been some police who have done bad things, definitely. There are a lot of people who are just mad at all police. And
Well, that's kind of weird. I mean, I know some people will do something wrong, but should I get blamed for something that they did?
that's right. Should I get mad at all puppets when you do something wrong?
No, that would be kind of silly.
That would be silly, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Should you get mad at all tall, funny-looking guys when I do something wrong?
No.
Okay, we shouldn't get mad at a whole group of people because one person gets it wrong. But unfortunately, a lot of our police are having to put up with that right now. So I want to encourage you to encourage our police. Here's a few ideas.
Okay.
First of all, obey the law. That's pretty easy, right?
Yeah, that seems like that's pretty,
Yeah.
self-explanatory.
And if you end up needing to talk to a police officer for some reason, be respectful,
Be respectful.
just
Okay.
like you should to anyone, okay? Also, consider writing a note or drawing a picture to encourage the police in your area, or even police in other parts of the country, bigger cities. Find out where the police precincts are, what the addresses are, and just mail them a note of encouragement or a picture, and just let them know that you're thinking about
them.
them.
You want me to do thank you cards? Oh, I like that. I can do thank you cards. That would be lots of fun. I can write one to Officer Reed, and Officer Malloy, and Officer Lepard, and Officer Gates, and Officer... Oh, wait, there's a lot of them. I could write notes, too.
And they will appreciate that, believe me, and definitely, above all, pray for them. Would you pray for our police, okay? Because most of those people, most of those men and women are just regular people that are out there trying to do the best job they can, and they have all the challenges that any of us have in our jobs. Sometimes they go in and people are mean to them, and then it makes it harder for them to have a good attitude, or sometimes they have, personal problems in their life, just like any of us do, and they have to deal with that while they're doing their jobs. Give them a break. Pray for them, okay?
Okay.
Be supportive. God put them there to do his work for our good. So kids, I hope you'll support our police, pray for our police, obey the authority that God has put in charge of you. Okay, kids?
All right. Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, again, kids, I encourage you, if you have a Bible question, please send it to ask@lifefellowship.org with your name and your age, and we'll do our best to answer that. But for right now, we're going to let you go. Don't worry about the spider. There really aren't that many spiders up there.
There's a cobweb up there.
You can clean it up when we're done here.
I can't get up there.
I'll clean it up after we are done there.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we love you guys. We're so glad that you were with us today. We hope you have a wonderful afternoon. And so from Becky and I to you, goodbye. We love you guys. We are. Bye. Goodbye.